Well, we caught a piece of the move today and we ended up winning the week. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. Today is Friday, August the 22nd. And as you can see, we had a green day today across the funded accounts and winning the week like I talked about earlier. We caught a piece of this move this morning. Really happy with the trade. I probably left some money on the table, but it is what it is. I did add into this trade. This is something I'm trying to work on, and really low risk, high reward trade here. The only thing that I would critique myself on is when I added into this trade, I had my initial second targets were here and also at this next level. And because this market started to get a little bit sluggish, I decided to move. Again, micromanaging a trade is never a good idea, but we do it all the time, or at least I do, and it's something I need to work on. But I moved my first profit target on the add-on order down to here, right above where I took my second one on the first entry. And I moved this one down from up here down to this level here around the 45 300s. Well, we got this big move with Powell's speech at the Jackson Hole Symposium. Of course, I got out with a nice win, but I left that money on the table. So it is what it is. It was still a really nice trade. It was a great trade. You can see very low risk, high reward, which is really what I like to do. And the other thing too is it's worth noting, especially on a day like today, which can be fraught with FOMO, is we're not paid to get the entire move. We're paid to get part of a move. So getting an entire move like this would be fantastic, but it's very rare. So quite happy with the trade. And again, I was really just looking for about $100 or so today because I wanted to win the week. I wasn't trying to get greedy and really get ahead. And it's something I'm trying to really stay true to. Let's look at TradeZeller real quick. This was today, $1,000, 50% win rate. So what I failed to mention, let me just go back. I actually entered this trade. I entered this trade first on this pullback to retest this level around the 45 130s. And I got in a little bit too early, tight stop, which is what I like to do. Got stopped out there for like $30 loss, $25 loss. And then when we got the push back up, I got back into the trade, and that's when the move happened. So, I mean, that trade took a while to unfold. I think I might have been in that trade. Well, we can see it on TradeZeller. I think that might be a little bit cleaner. Let's just go there. Where was I at? Here we go. So because of that first entry, I have a 50% win rate today, but profit factor almost 5, average win to loss almost 5. My win was 141, the loser was $28. So that's really what I'm looking for, is that type of a skewed average. And again, not by much, but we did win the week, which was really what I was hoping for after yesterday's red day. Again, I didn't adhere to some of the rules that I should be adhering to yesterday. That cost me a little bit on the loss yesterday, but hey, we kept the week green. We basically had a break-even week, which is completely fine. So really happy with that. Let's look at the trades themselves today. And we'll try to look into this for a minute. So here you can see the first one. I didn't even get a screenshot because I was so quick, but break and retest to 45 127. Got in a little too early, small loss. Completely okay with that. Second trade was the re-entry. So for this one here, you can see that the R factor after the added ended up being 141, which is a really nice trade. But really from the initial entry, it was a lot better than that. But in any case, re-entry of the 45 127 break and retest. First contract off at 2R. So you can see this was my initial, when I got into the trade here, my stop loss was right at that first place I got stopped out. I just put the stop loss right back there. Basically, if we lose this level, I'm out. And so I had a 25-point stop loss. And so my first profit target was at 50 points for a 2R. So I'm taking half off at 2R, which means at that point, I can't lose if it go back and stops me out. But at that point, I added 2 contracts, which you see right here. I added two contracts here, and then I caught the big rip higher from Powell's speech. Only critique, which I talked about that earlier, is that I adjusted the final 2 profit targets. Had I left them, the trade would have been about double what it was now, but that's okay. Still felt great, but that's something I'm working on. I actually spent some of the day testing on the sim account, adding into a trade. If you get to 2R, add double the size, and where do I want to place my stop, and where do I want to place my next profit targets. And so something I'm going to be working on, because it definitely works the best for me if I have a tight stop loss. I would rather cut my losers, get out of the trade, and then find a better entry. That definitely seems to be a better situation for me, and it's a lot better for my headspace. So nice Zella score today, by the way, 91%, which is because of this huge average win to loss was very much skewed in my favor. This week is probably not bad as far as that average win to loss. So 28% win rate. Check that out. Almost sub 30% win rate, but we did make a little money, and here's why. 2.6 average win was 150. The average loser was 60 bucks, we'll call it. So when I won, I was about 3 times my average loser, which is what skews that and helped me to keep the week green, even with only a 30% win rate. Yeah. I'm happy with that. That's just, again, developing, improving my strategy, improving the way I trade, et cetera, et cetera. So good week. Happy with that. If you look at the this little spreadsheet, so this is really the net for this week. On the Tradeify accounts, I basically lost about 10 to 15 bucks per account, so essentially break even. On the Apex accounts, I made about 8 to 12 bucks, 15 bucks, and on the Take Profit account, I ended up with a 170 profit for a total profit of 128 bucks across all the accounts. So again, pretty much a break even week, but I'm trying to win the weeks. That is my mentality, is to win each week, try to be green each week, and not focus on each individual day. There's going to be red weeks, I know, but just trying to be smart about that. And again, like today, I there's part of me that would have wanted to take some more trades. There were some decent setups. There was a beautiful break and retest of the daily 20 on the NASDAQ and this level around the 23 500s. That would have been an excellent long trade. But again, I'm not going to get greedy. I knew after this first trade that I had won the week. I was green on the week. I had a couple of red days this week, and I was walking away, and we'll go at it again next week. If I have a week where I'm really green and I can be a little bit more aggressive, then I think that makes a lot more sense. So that's where that's at. On the evals, what I have left is basically the 50Ks. Had a nice little day, basically up 100 bucks, 140 bucks. Take profit accounts are now up to about 51.2, and the Apex accounts are at 52.2 basically. So again, I was not really that aggressive today, just trying to get green on those and move on with the week. So that's where we're at. But this big move, man, let's take a look at the Dow. I've traded the Dow quite a bit as of late. Look at this absolute rocket ship of a move up to this big level. And we are actually flirting with previous all-time highs. So in my opinion, and I think what's going to happen here, I mean, this is about 2:30 in the afternoon. This market's definitely pretty much dead. We're going to go sideways the rest of the day, which is, I mean, we've been sideways really since this move ended about noon, 10:30, 11 o'clock, which is very much expected. However, if we hold this area and we hold this in the Sunday night open into Monday morning, there is a very good chance that we could see this thing test these highs on the Dow Jones. We also could see a pullback before we retest, but big picture, that's what I'll be looking for. Do we break and hold this level around the 45,800s here, or do we need to pull back into this major level back here around the 43,400s and then push up from there? But either way, really kind of excited to see what happens here early next week. Russell, very similar. Let's look at the daily chart. We're approaching some of these highs. We've got a ways to go before we reach the all-time highs, but definitely we're sitting right above this major level and these previous highs coming back here from January. So if this can continue to hold and push, that may be really good. ES, let's go to the daily. Well, does that work? Yeah, let's go to the 15-minute or the 30 minutes where I have this set. So we're close to the all-time highs. We are above the previous all-time highs. This is the recent all-time highs, and we're not that far away. So very similar to the Dow Jones. If this area can hold and we get somewhat of a break and retest around the 64.80s, 64.75s, we might see a push up into these highs on Monday. And the NASDAQ, I think NVIDIA has pulled the NASDAQ down quite a bit. Just my observation. I think NVIDIA has definitely been a bit of a hold back on the NASDAQ, but still same picture really applies. We're not at the all-time highs. We've got a ways to go. But again, if the S&P 500 continues to push, the NASDAQ likely will follow suit as well. And so we'll see where that goes into next week. But the big watches for me getting, as we enter the weekend here and look into Monday are going to be the ES, the S&P 500 ES futures. Does that move higher? And what happens with the Dow Jones? I'm really, really looking forward to see what happens with the Dow Jones. That could be a monster trade coming in on Monday or early next week. So anyway, that's a wrap. That's where we're at today. Feels good to end the week in a green note. So we'll enjoy the weekend and try to be back at it next week. And hopefully we can have a good, solid week. As far as promos are going, the take profit deal is still going on. As you could see on that banner that just rotated to QuantGuard. And then we also have the Apex sale, which I think is running for another, I think that ends sometime next week, the 80% off sale. So again, just thank you to those of you that use my code BCT, which gets you the best deal with Apex, Take Profit Trader, and TradeZilla. And there's also a link in the description for affordable indicators. So anyway, appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I do appreciate that. And thanks for following along, those of you that are just here for entertainment purposes. So thank you. Hope you guys had a great day and a good week. We'll catch up with you next week. So take care and so long.